So this is the card that we're making tonight, and I actually had this version without the fresh freesia until 2 nights ago. So 2 nights ago I was playing around. I wanted to post a color inspiration, and I had chosen Misty Moonlight, Pool Party, and Fresh Freesia, I don't know, maybe a month ago. And I got to thinking, oh, this card that I'm making has 2 of those colors. And ooh, if I add Fresh Freesia, I'm going to get that cotton candy sky that I love so much down at the beach. So this is the card we're making. So let's go ahead and get started. We are starting with a base of Misty Moonlight cardstock, and I have cut it at 11 by 4 1/4, and then scored it in half at 5 1/2. So this is the hot dog fold. That's what I've always called it. I'm not sure what other people call it. And I'm going to be using the Peaceful Place Designer Series paper. Now this paper actually comes in a 12 by 12 sheet. It looks like this, except for this piece that's missing that's on my card. And I cut it straight down the middle. So this piece was meant to be cut straight down the middle like this. And I can get 6 cards out of this one sheet. I'm going to go ahead, and you'll notice, actually I can't get 6 cards if I do it the way I did it here, because this is 4 1/4. So it's going to leave me a little shy, but that's all right. So I am going to cut this at 4 1/4 because I want that to go all the way to the edge. Now I could cheat and I could just cut this down a little bit and make this 4 inches wide as well. Probably would have been smart, especially since I love this card, but no matter, I'm not going to do that. And then I'm cutting a little bit off the bottom. So you can see that I have a little bit of snow showing here, but I don't have a ton. So I just have this little strip, and I can use this somewhere else. And I want to make sure, though, you can see that I have a piece of Misty Moonlight showing up here and some down here. So that's probably about 1 inch total, I'm guessing, if I had to measure it. The measurements are on my blog, stamperhood.com. Yes, it's 4 3/4. So I'm going to now cut from the other end so that it's 4 3/4. So I have just this piece right here. I'm going to get out my trusty blending brushes. If you don't have blending brushes, ooh, put those on your Christmas list. They are fantastic. I'm going to protect my work surface here. And it doesn't matter which color you start with, but I'm going to probably work from the bottom up. I'm going to take my Fresh Freesia and ink up my blending brush. And then I'm going to just very lightly come color over the top of this. And I really am doing it very, very lightly. The more you hold it back here, the lighter the touch is, because you don't have that leverage. And I'm going to blend it up a little bit higher. Just really, really light here. All right, I think that's probably good. Let's see what it looks like. I think I need a little bit more. I just love this color so much. I need to have a little bit more of it. It really is a very pretty color. I love the orange, bright orange sunsets and sunrises too, but there's just something equally as beautiful as these cotton candy skies. So next I'm going to take Pool Party and do the same thing. Ink it up, get that first little bit off here on my paper so nothing's too bright. And I'm just going to come up here. And I'm using some circular motions so that I don't get harsh lines. I'm just kind of blending into one another. And as the ink has come off a little bit, I can go ahead and press a little bit harder. Change my grip a little bit so that it's a little bit further to the end. Maybe a little bit more. right, and now let's add in the last color, which is Misty Moonlight. Leslie, I'm not sure how that got auto-corrected to that, but I do indeed know where Cumberland is because I grew up in West Stewartstown. I wasn't recognizing the other place that you had posted that it had auto-corrected to, so I'm glad you corrected that. And I can see that I'd need a little bit more Pool Party. The lights are shining right down and it's reflecting off this silver for me, so it's hard for me to actually see the depth of the color where I'm coloring here. There, that's a little bit better, I think. If I hold it up, then I can see. Yeah, there you go. All right, now this is silver foil that's on here. It's like silver embossing. And what you want to do to make sure that it that the ink doesn't really stick to that very well, which is great, but it also means it can come off. So I'm just going to buff this, get any extra ink off. And yes, I know this has been used so much. I need to throw it in the wash, but it's fine for tonight. So there's my card focal piece. I need to now go ahead and stamp a sentiment, and I'm going to use the Christmas to Remember set, which is a great set and is carrying over for next year, which it should because it is fantastic. I forgot to get a block out again because that's what I do when I go live. I forget things. Truth be told, I was embossing for Christmas cards for my work right up until I had to go live. So I wasn't really thinking about other things. There we go. A little Merry Christmas right there. Now we need to add this to our card base. All right, I'm going to get this out of here so you can see things. See how I just threw that aside? Yeah, that's pretty much how the rest of my office, my stamp room, looks the way it is because that's what I do. All right. So looks nice just like that, but we're going to take some Simply Elegant trim. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Vivian, about which site, if you're talking about my blog or if this site. I'm not sure why it goes black. I'm going to just cut off a piece here. And we're going to try to tie a bow on camera. It's always so nerve-wracking for me. That's why I actually cut this a little bit longer and ahead of time, because it's hard enough tying a bow on camera without struggling with other pieces. So there's my bow. I can trim my ends a little bit. The curl will relax as it's in the envelope. So when I put it in the envelope, I make sure things are kind of laying the way I want them to. And then, then it behaves when it's taken out. So that's what it's going to look like. And of course, we have to do something to the inside though, right? Because it's dark right now. So we're going to bring in this piece right here. And I need a sentiment for the inside. So I'm going to take the Christmas to Remember. Love and joy come to you and may it last the whole year through. It's a sentiment actually I was using on those other Christmas cards that I mentioned I was just stamping. There we go, stamped in Misty Moonlight. Now, that's still kind of plain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out these wonderful snowflakes. And this wonderful snowflakes, you get 24 in a package, and they are iridescent. Can you see that? The iridescence of it shining on camera. So I could put it on that side because iridescent stuff actually has that cotton candy kind of look to it as well for me. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to put it on half of it, but I'm not actually going to put it on like this. I'm going to put it on let's see. Oh, you know that thing I just threw? I want it back. So it's got iridescent on one side, and that does not accept ink. But the other side does. So I'm going to get my blending brushes back out, and I'm going to add a little bit of my fresh freesia to the center. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Pool Party. I might have to add a little bit more ink too. Pool Party to the middle section. And then I'm going to add some Misty Moonlight to the ends. That's going to allow me to look at that when you put that on there. Isn't that nice? I think I'll put it like this. Probably cut it right down the middle right there. But I'm not going to try to cut it down the middle the way it is. I am going to add some adhesive. So let's go ahead and get out. All right, I'll use my green glue only because, oh, I found my fine tip one. I have this bottle that's got an extremely fine tip to it. I'm gonna flip it over onto the other side. And remember, I'm only gonna put half of this on there. No, I hope I didn't clog that. Let's see. All right. And I have to move this out of the way so that I can actually see a little bit about what I'm doing. I'm gonna just put a little bit of glue in a few spots. I can't even see on this iridescent stuff if it's coming out. I hope it is. How's everybody's Friday going while you're watching me glue? What's worse than watching somebody, than watching glue dry? Watching somebody apply glue that's going to be drying. All right, I think that's probably good. I'm going to put that right on here. Now, there might have been a few spots that I went a little heavy-handed on it, so I will give that a little bit of time to dry before I try to remove it. I saw a couple of shiny spots there, so I know it does exist. And I'm just going to flip it over and trim off the excess. And I have more that I could use on another project. But there we have just a little piece of snowflake peeking through right there. Pretty cute, I think. And we just need to adhere this to the inside. Another thing I could have done was I could have actually blended like I did on this front here. I could have added those three colors just to the inside as well. You can see faintly that when you color over this, it acts like a stencil almost, like a reverse stencil. And you could have done that around and put kind of a reverse snowflake in there. all sorts of options to make this inside pretty. I'm trying to get your comments going on. Like, I don't know why, but I can't see comments. There we go. Let's see. And we put this in here, and we have a beautiful card for those who love winter, or those who are trying to make the best out of winter. Now, my sister Tony asked me where I got this. Stampin' Up! Used to sell this. They don't anymore. However, I did find a bunch on Amazon, and you can find them in craft stores too, but it's just it's a rubber eraser, and they're cheap enough, and they pick up glue like you would not believe. I think it's really called a rubber cement eraser, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So anyway, that is our card for tonight.